Four wins in four. Mikel Carrique, Michael Carrick, I love you. Four wins in four. And I'll be so honest, that was the weakest game, the weakest win out of the games he's had so far since he's become interim manager. But hey ho, a win's a win. 2-0. It's not like we even played bad. It's just we had some moments where we could have been a bit more ruthless. We could have been a bit more like clinical up front. But in terms of everything else, we still felt like we were comfortable. I wouldn't say we dominated and we put our foot on their heads, but we played good football. We held the ball well. I think it was comfortable, regardless of the red card. Regardless of the red card, I think we were comfortable on the ball. I think before the red card, there was a bit of back and forth in terms of counter attack on top of counter attack on top of counter attack. And then when the red card came from Cuti Romero, reckless, I say, I think we got a bit more comfortable on the ball and realized we don't need to rush things. The only problem is we did play with our food a bit more. However, we knew how to play with 10 men. People are saying that it's easy to play against 10 men to an extent, but then you got the other opposing team that will just go full ultra defensive. And then that's hard to like try and break down. And luckily, we managed to get a goal set piece. What was it from Bruno passing it into Mainu, then Mainu flicking it out into the whoever was outside of the box. It was Mbuma, I believe. And Mbuma banged it in first time, bottom right corner, and then that's when we became very, very comfortable and borderline a bit too comfortable because there was a couple of times where we lost the ball because we were just playing with the ball a bit too much. I'm talking about Lisandro Martinez, for example, and they could have got us in the counter attack, but their attack line's just got no legs. It's just slow as hell. They couldn't even counter attack us, so we were a bit comfortable. And yeah, I think it was a okay game. I don't think it was like mind boggling. I don't think I was like screaming up at the top of my lungs. I think this is one of them ones where you have to expect not every game is going to be fast paced, not going to be dramatic like the last three games. It's gonna be these games where yeah, we're not playing the best of football. We're not being as clinical. We're not perfect, and it's just a routine win. You have to have those routine wins. It can't be everything pedal to the metal like high octane, dramatic football. And yeah, this is one of those games that we just played a professional game. We played a professional game. I couldn't tell you who was the standout player in our team. Mob and I think Sky Sports said, not Sky Sports, TNT Sports said that if Bruno Fernandes was man of the match, I don't think he was that amazing, but I think they just gave someone man of the match for the sake of it. I think our midfield was actually like the better performing out of every other player in the squad. I think Casemiro and Menu played decent, not again not amazing, just decent. Especially at the start, Menu passing his way out in like after getting triple teamed, etc. Casemiro being Casemiro as usual. It's just I think he didn't stand out as much as because he didn't score or assist, or mainly scored a goal from like a cross or anything, and that's not what is always expected of him. That's just like a bonus little attribute of him, which is why we call him borderline irreplaceable. Mainu played solid today, got a good assist, that training ground assist, that training ground goal, that first goal. Shout out to that whoever our set piece guy is. Not every set piece guy needs to be the main character at Arsenal. And guess what? This is how Arsenal, this is how you do a set piece and make it look beautiful. We can do set pieces, we can be set piece FC, but we can score outside of that. We don't just over rely on it. It's just an extra little tool. You man rely on your tools too much instead of your own abilities. But hey ho, let's not talk about Arsenal too much. As for Tottenham, bro, they were toothless. I think Simons was their best player. I think he was the one trying to get things done, but there's just like lack of pace. Gallagher, I can give him that as well. Worked hard, tried to get things done, but then you got Romero who just got himself sent off. I think I was watching the Big Six live stream, and Tobes was getting mad, and I think he's one thing he said is right. He's not captain material, and I think he's just selfish, and I think he's just doing things to be trying to be the hero too much, trying to think, oh, he could do the hero tackles, and it's just reckless. Reckless. You are a captain, a centre back as well, and a captain. So you're meant to be the leader at the back line. You're supposed to calm people down. You're supposed to lead. You're supposed to instruct people. You're meant to be the calmest head, let alone on top of that, being the captain of the team. You are supposed to be the calmest guy. Tell me why. Why are you the most reckless player? Why are you a walking red card basically? Is ridiculous. They've co- he's cost them the game. Let's be real. As much as United banged in their 2 goals, we weren't that amazing. And Tottenham having that red card just put them on the back foot, just handicapped them. Like they're already not having that much pace. And then Odegaard had to come off for Dragusin so they can have an extra centre back and actually protect themselves because Cuti Romero couldn't keep himself disciplined. Tobe said, Big Six, that he has to get stripped of his captaincy, and I believe so because he's had too many times where he's just a walking, talking red card constantly. He's too hot headed, and I just don't get it. I've watched today Van der Ven. I've watched Van der Ven in other games. Iceman, calm, collected. Even though he's very physical and very like fast, you could see he's calm. You could see he's a leader. You could see he's just like, I lead with my actions as well as talking. But he doesn't seem like a guy who talks too much. He doesn't yell that much. Instructs a bit, but you could tell he's a better leader than Cuti Romero. Cuti Romero can't, especially compared to what Tottenham had. Alderweireld, Vertonghen, that comparison of centre backs. Cuti Romero is a good player, good centre back, but mentality wise, nowhere near Vertonghen, nowhere near Toby Alderweireld. Tottenham were lucky back then where they had Vertonghen and Alderweireld, who are both captain material. I think Vertonghen was the actual captain, and I think, but no, sorry, it was Kane who was actually the captain. But Alderweireld and Vertonghen were both captain material in themselves, and that's why back then in their peak they had such a strong defensive record. It's because of those two were just dogs, big, bulky leaders that knew how to defend but were sensible at the same time. Cuti Romero, indiscipline. As with your centre backs, I don't think you can afford, especially as Tottenham Hotspur, with a thin squad. With after those two is Dragusin, who's awful football ability wise. You can't afford a hothead centre back as your starter. I get it with Real Madrid, they had Ramos, but they had good backup centre backs. They had Pepe, they had Varane, they had good depth in their centre backs. You can afford it, but with Tottenham Hotspur, they can't afford someone like that. It's too much for them. It is too much, and it's just going to constantly cost them games. It's going to constantly cost them games because United weren't perfect. We weren't safe from conceding. There was times where Solanke had a few chances, but luckily it was last ditch defending, and also the fact that Tottenham Hotspur pace wise just lacked it, and then they lacked it even more when Odegaard had to come off because of the red card. They need to sort this Coutinho Romero situation ASAP in the summer. They should have tried to get a centre back in that January transfer window. I know they wanted a playmaking midfielder as well, but they got a lot of midfielders and they're not happy with the Gallagher signing. I'd be pissed with that Gallagher signing. It's not even a loan deal. They actually paid him full money, permanent, 40 mil. They burnt it when they could have got a centre back. I think they should have got a centre back, in my opinion. Someone that is better than Romero, someone that can slot in when Romero. I wouldn't even say someone that's better than Romero, someone that can take over Romero and just like take his place easy, and it's not big like bigger ability jump, if you know what I mean. Not like Romero to then Dragusin, who's like just awful even before the injury, just awful liability in defense. You need someone that's an actual good backup that can actually start games week in week out if Coutinho Romero is not available. I'll be so real. And I think he's suspended for 3 or 4 games. So Dragusin's got his starting spot, and let's see if he can prove everyone wrong. But I doubt it. And then Udogi got injured as well, so they're completely screwed. Pedro Porro wasn't available. I think he's injured. Archie Gray was playing right back. They are completely screwed. Tottenham are completely screwed. Luckily, I don't think they're going to be set. They're not going to be relegated because I think the other relegation battle teams are a bit way more weaker than them and a bit more like their points are a bit their gap is a bit too far away. So I think they're fine. But Tottenham, as long as this situation continues, they're screwed. This is like a repeating situation. Last season, Romero, I know he didn't get any red cards, but he wasn't as indisciplined last season, but still a bit reckless. He's been always reckless. And then you got Pedro Porro's, well, I think is a hothead as well, in my opinion. But let's look at the lineup. The one thing I want to talk about is I know Embuemo scored tonight, today. But I think Sesko should have started because after the goal and even before the goal, just during the whole game, I think Mbuemo's hold up play was awful today. I think it was the thing that was setting up our midfield to fail and our defenders to fail for counter attack. But we were lucky that Tottenham just have no pace and they can't counter attack to save their life. But we needed more. We needed someone that can hold up the ball because I feel like when we got to the final third, we lost it. We lost it straight away if we didn't score. And then Buemo couldn't hold up the ball well. Obviously, it's no fault of his own. He's not an out and out striker like that. He's not that type of striker. But I think this game, Sesko should have started. God knows who would have started off the bench. But this is where you just rotate. There's nothing wrong with it. We just got depth in it. And then for for the Amarim inners talking about, oh, what about Mainu and his situation? You man begged him to start and everything. It's because we don't have that many quality midfielders. So let's not talk about that. But I think Sesko should have started, and if not, I think Sesko should have come on later. I think he came in a bit too late. That's a little bit of criticism for Carrick. But other than that, I think it was a routine game, professional game. Let's look at this table. I know it's kind of pointless because we were the first game of the weekend, but still fourth. Let's hope Aston Villa lose points, and let's hope City lose against Liverpool. I'd say that, but Liverpool on 39 points. I don't want them catching up, but also I kind of want second selfishly. I'm not being deluded and say we're definitely going to get second and we're thinking about it, but look at the difference. Let's hope City lose. Let's hope Aston Villa lose. Liverpool, Bournemouth, do me a favour. And then we can get, and then we just have to win again next week and hope they lose points again, both of them at the same time. And then we get second place. I know I'm thinking too far ahead. I don't think I should be. It should be a thing where it's just game by game, just keep winning our games, keep winning our games. I think our game's on Tuesday, actually. I just realised. Tuesday or Wednesday against West Ham. So Tuesday, whatever day it is, 10th of February, it's in 3 days. So yeah, it is Tuesday. United Strand can cut his hair. Oof. His hair's getting cut off. I believe. I believe. I don't know if it's home or away. Ah, damn, it's away. But it is West Ham Stadium. It feels like a neutral ground. That stadium's awful for like crowd cheering and stuff. They're too far away. But yeah, good win. Decent win. Nothing amazing. Nothing special. Let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, and peace.